Modern retirement was designed for a civilization that no longer exists. I bet you didn't notice this, but one of the strangest contradictions in modern civilization is hiding inside retirement itself. Because retirement was originally built for a completely different version of civilization. A slower civilization. A more stable civilization. A civilization where humans expected one career, one company, one pension, one mortgage, one physical community, one predictable future. And the strange part is, millions of humans are still emotionally operating on that old civilization software, while modern civilization quietly transformed into something completely different underneath them. That's the part that's fascinating. Because modern retirement systems were built around assumptions that no longer fully exist. The assumption that jobs remain stable long-term. The assumption that companies remain loyal long-term. The assumption that humans can reliably predict economic conditions decades into the future. The assumption that healthcare costs remain manageable. The assumption that civilization itself moves slowly enough for long-term planning to remain emotionally coherent. But modern civilization now changes operating systems every few years. Careers mutate. Industries disappear. Apps replace departments. Inflation quietly shapeshifts purchasing power. Housing behaves differently. Debt behaves differently. Technology behaves differently. Attention behaves differently. Human stress behaves differently. And humans adapted behaviorally to this unbelievably fast, while many people never emotionally processed what actually changed. That's why modern retirement conversations now feel emotionally strange. Because younger generations increasingly look at retirement the way older generations once looked at science fiction. Not because young people are lazy, but because civilization itself became less emotionally predictable. The strange part is, many humans now struggle to emotionally imagine life 30 years from now, because modern civilization barely feels emotionally stable 30 days from now. Humanity gained AI-powered civilization, and many humans still emotionally collapse because one banking app password stopped working. Modern humans can monitor investments, order groceries, refinance debt, watch 4 screens, and doom-scroll global instability simultaneously, while standing in the kitchen forgetting why they entered the room. That's not stupidity. That's civilization overload. And you are watching civilization quietly rewire the emotional relationship humans have with the future itself. Because retirement was never just about money. Retirement was about emotional confidence in continuity. And modern civilization quietly weakened continuity everywhere. Every civilization shift contains hidden leverage. Most humans only see stress, uncertainty, inflation, pressure, confusion, adaptation, fatigue. But hidden underneath most civilization friction, there are usually opportunity clusters forming. Whenever systems change, somebody eventually builds around the pressure. That's why Gaimed investigates the friction underneath the surface. Because if Gaimed touches a signal deeply enough, hidden leverage can usually be extracted from it. And retirement pressure is creating massive leverage opportunities right now. Financial simplification systems, retirement education pathways, senior adaptation consulting, AI-assisted planning tools, low overhead income systems, human-centered local services, emotional stabilization businesses, technology translators for older adults, intergenerational support systems. Because modern retirement increasingly requires something previous generations needed less of, continuous adaptation. And adaptation itself quietly became a market. As of 2026, human civilization no longer emotionally behaves like the civilization retirement systems were originally built for. Back then, civilization moved slower. People physically visited banks. People expected pensions. People worked decades inside the same industry. Communities stayed geographically tighter. Mail mattered. Paper mattered. Face-to-face communication mattered more. Most systems were slower, more physical, less algorithmic, less psychologically invasive, and humans expected stability almost by default. A stable job, stable prices, stable routines, stable housing pathways, stable retirement timelines. Even stress behaved differently. Stress existed, but civilization itself didn't constantly update emotionally every 12 seconds. Humans were not waking up to notifications from 15 systems simultaneously before brushing their teeth. Back then, the future felt slower. Now the future updates before humans emotionally recover from the previous update. That's the civilization transition. And retirement sits directly in the middle of that contradiction. Because retirement planning fundamentally depends on long-term predictability. But modern civilization increasingly rewards short-term adaptability. That's a very different psychological environment. Modern civilization normalized subscription layering, algorithmic dependency, AI integration gig, labor, economic volatility, digital identity systems, constant upskilling, infinite information exposure, financial complexity, attention, fragmentation, and humans adapted behaviorally before emotionally understanding the trade-offs. That's why many people quietly feel exhausted even when technically functioning. Modern humans now spend huge portions of life adapting to systems that never stop changing. Passwords update, platforms update, taxes update, apps update, healthcare systems update, banking systems update, job markets update. Civilization became software-like. Humans quietly became update reactive. But something strange happened. Civilization normalized uncertainty itself, and humans adapted to uncertainty so aggressively, many people stopped emotionally noticing how abnormal that actually is. Modern humans now casually say things like, "The economy's weird. Everything expensive now. Jobs unstable. Nobody can retire. Housing crazy. Healthcare impossible." Like civilization accidentally normalized permanent instability as a personality trait. That's fascinating, because previous generations often built retirement systems assuming civilization would mostly continue behaving similarly over long periods. Modern civilization increasingly behaves like a beta test with Wi-Fi. And the strange part is, many humans don't even consciously realize how much adaptation pressure they carry now. Humanity built advanced digital civilization, and many humans now need 5 verification codes just to emotionally access their own money. That's not even banking anymore. That's a side quest. Modern civilization quietly transformed ordinary existence into administrative parkour. And retirement systems originally weren't designed for this level of continuous complexity. They were built for slower cycles, longer stability windows, more predictable labor, more physically grounded economies, not civilization moving at algorithm speed. Now look at the modern condition. Modern humans wake up and emotionally report to glowing rectangles before fully reporting to themselves. Notifications, bills, emails, news alerts, market alerts, political alerts, health alerts, security alerts, subscription renewals, fraud warnings, low battery warnings. Civilization now professionally monetizes interruption. And retirement anxiety quietly lives inside all of this. Because modern humans are increasingly trying to financially prepare for futures they cannot emotionally model anymore. That's why younger generations often sound emotionally detached from retirement conversations. It's not always irresponsibility. Sometimes it's civilization disbelief. Because modern civilization trained humans to emotionally prioritize survival adaptation over long-range certainty. That changes psychology. And meanwhile, older generations are experiencing a different contradiction. Many seniors followed the original rules, worked long-term, saved consistently, invested carefully, trusted continuity. Then modern civilization changed faster than the original assumptions supporting the plan. Healthcare costs shifted. Housing shifted. Inflation shifted. Technology shifted. Social support shifted. Family structures shifted. And many seniors now feel like civilization quietly renegotiated the agreement after the paperwork was already signed. That's a massive emotional signal. Humanity built futuristic civilization, and many older adults now need YouTube tutorials just to refill prescriptions online. That's not personal failure. That's civilization acceleration. And younger generations are watching all of this happen in real time, which quietly affects how they emotionally view the future itself. Because modern civilization increasingly rewards speed, adaptability, automation, compatibility, constant learning, visibility, digital responsiveness, while quietly reducing stillness, patience, focus, predictability, long-term certainty, deep rest, psychological recovery, space. Humans gained convenient speed. Humans lost emotional breathing room. Civilization solved physical friction and accidentally created psychological friction. Modern apps no longer ask for money directly. They emotionally stand beside your wallet, breathing slowly. Subscription, premium, upgrade, auto-renew, convenience fee, processing fee, priority access fee. Civilization increasingly monetizes continuity itself, and retirement planning quietly became trapped inside that same pressure architecture. Because the cost of simply remaining functional inside modern systems keeps increasing. Emotionally, mentally, financially. Humanity gained infinite information access, and many humans still open refrigerators hoping new emotions appear. That's BHI right there. Advanced civilization. Basic human operating system. Civilization became futuristic. Human discipline still operating like a raccoon near snacks. That's why the first victory is not always external. Sometimes the first victory is internal stabilization, clarity, orientation, recognizing the pressure, understanding the friction, seeing the hidden leverage underneath the confusion. That's where confusion to clarity, to control, to leverage actually begins. Because retirement pressure is creating entirely new opportunity ecosystems. Simplification businesses, senior-friendly technology systems, AI translators for older adults, financial organization services, human-centered local support systems, low-overhead digital businesses, education pathways teaching adaptation itself. Most people only experience the pressure. A few people quietly build systems around the pressure. And that's how civilization shifts always work. Whenever civilization becomes more complex, simplification becomes more valuable. Whenever systems become emotionally overwhelming, clarity becomes monetizable. That's why younger entrepreneurs should pay attention to senior adaptation pressure, not exploitatively, structurally. Because millions of humans are currently navigating civilization transitions they never fully prepared for. And hidden inside that friction are enormous human-centered markets. But every solved friction created new friction. Civilization gained convenience. Civilization also created dependency. Civilization gained automation. Civilization also increased emotional detachment. Civilization gained speed. Civilization lost recovery space. Civilization solved boredom and accidentally created permanent stimulation. Modern humans now consume more information in a day than previous generations sometimes consumed in weeks. And retirement planning was never originally built around this level of psychological saturation. That matters, because emotional fatigue changes decision-making quality. And modern civilization quietly keeps layering systems on top of humans already adaptation fatigued. Subscription civilization, notification civilization, algorithm civilization, Predictive civilization. Humanity created digital super tools, and civilization immediately searched for loopholes. That's the DSI layer. Advanced system plus human opportunism. Modern scammers now use technologies stronger than governments once possessed. To send fake text messages pretending to be your bank asking if you recently purchased 17 jet skis in Romania. Technology evolved. Human temptation upgraded with it. And seniors often become especially vulnerable because civilization transitioned technologically faster than many humans could emotionally update. That's not stupidity. That's rapid civilization migration. The strange part is, this is probably only the beginning. Because once civilization normalizes unstable adaptation, the next logical step becomes adaptive automation, AI financial assistance, predictive budgeting, automated retirement optimization, emotionally personalized financial systems, AI-managed scheduling, AI-managed health monitoring, AI-managed decision support. Modern civilization already rents software. Human psychology may eventually become partially subscription-managed, too. That sounds absurd, but civilization already quietly moved in that direction. Humans now outsource. Memory to phones, navigation to GPS, communication to apps, shopping to algorithms, entertainment to feeds, recommendations to AI motivation. Outsourcing is probably next. Humanity may eventually outsource emotional organization the same way it outsourced remembering phone numbers. And retirement itself may eventually stop looking like work hard for 40 years, then stop working. It may become continuous low-friction adaptive income systems supported by AI leverage. That's a completely different civilization model. And younger generations already intuitively sense this shift emotionally, even when they can't fully articulate it. Future civilization may eventually create entire industries around emotional continuity itself. Subscription-based cognitive support, AI-assisted aging systems, personal adaptation dashboards, emotion management ecosystems, longevity coordination platforms, which sounds ridiculous. Until you realize modern civilization already sends humans meditation reminders through devices that also caused half the stress in the first place. Civilization creates pressure, then sells emotional repair kits back to humans. That's not even conspiracy anymore. That's Tuesday. Humanity built AI-powered civilization, and many humans still emotionally avoid opening emails for 3 business days because the subject line felt spiritually aggressive. Advanced civilization. Basic human nervous system. That contradiction keeps generating entire markets. And the people who understand that earliest often position themselves earliest. If this signal connects to your life or affects somebody close to you, there may be hidden pressure, hidden friction, or hidden leverage underneath it. Most humans experience civilization shifts personally long before they fully understand them structurally. Sometimes the pressure shows up as financial stress, retirement, anxiety, confusion, technology, fatigue, changing systems, adaptation, overload, job instability, emotional strain, invisible frustration. And most people quietly normalize it before realizing something fundamental actually changed. Not just economically, civilizationally. If you recognize real-world friction connected to this signal and want to investigate the hidden leverage underneath it, Gaimed may explore possible pathways, opportunities, systems, or adaptations connected to the pressure through the snapshot system. Not everybody will act on the signal. Some people will recognize the pressure, recognize the confusion, and still never reposition themselves against it. But for the people who do, civilization shifts often begin looking very different. The goal is not panic. The goal is awareness, recognition, positioning, adaptation, leverage, clarity, control. Because Gaimed investigates civilization pressure hidden trade-offs, Adaptation systems, leverage opportunities, invisible normalization pressure systems, civilization absurdity, confusion, clarity, control, leverage. Gaimed equals advantage. If this signal connected with you, check out the Gaimed Signal Investigation Network below. We're building investigations across multiple platforms because modern civilization pressure doesn't stop in one place. You can also explore the downstream signal network pathways below, including Facebook, X, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Shopify, Etsy, and future Gaimed investigation platforms as the network expands. Support the Gaimed Signal Investigation Network by subscribing, sharing, and shopping. That support helps us continue investigating the hidden systems quietly reshaping modern civilization, which probably affects you too if you're currently breathing oxygen, paying bills, buying groceries, opening apps, or maintaining a Wi-Fi connection to reality sometime within the last 15 minutes. Confusion, clarity, control, leverage. Gaimed equals advantage. Gaimed modern retirement was designed for a civilization that no longer exists. Snapshot system 13 is in the description. Purchase it, apply it. That's where control begins.